When it comes to Sansevieras, a lot of people are under the impression that they're extremely slow growing, but that is actually not the case. Sure, we do have some that are painfully slow growing, and have a great example of one here. This is one of the slowest growing Sansevieras in the world. She's beautiful, but this is 4 years worth of growth. Now, if you cannot wait and you do not have the patience, honey, this video is for you. Come closer. I'm going to show you Sanseivera that is just as unique as this, but also super fast growing. Without much ado, let's proceed. The first one I want to show you, and this one is absolutely one of my favorites. Not only is this one that just grows big, but it's also a prolific popper as well. So you're getting something that will, you're getting the volume, but you're also getting something that will easily multiply and give you lots of pops. I've spoken enough.
Oh my God, what is that?
Look at the material. Look at the freaking material. Oh my goodness. This is a Sanseivera copper tone Urgh, and it looks like such a freak of nature. When I first got this plant about 3 years ago, I remember vividly because it was actually a birthday present. It was my ultimate wish list plant back then. I got it about 3 years ago. It was just this very well looking like pop, and this is us 3 years later. Madame has honestly exploded, and she seems like she's about to burst through the pot. Not only are you going to be getting a beautiful, unique Sanseivera, but you're also going to be getting one that grows really big and will also give you lots of pops. Like, this one has just so many pops that I have refused to separate and divide. I could actually make a good chunk of money separating the pops, but no, I decided to hang on to this one and leave her to be this full, beautiful, oh my goodness, beautiful creature. Now, babes, when it comes to Sansevieras, if you want them to grow fast, you need to water them regularly. I've talked about this in several of my Sanseivera videos. If you keep subjecting them to drought, these girlies are not gonna grow. They're just gonna go dormant. So regardless of all these Sansevieras being fast growing, if you don't water them regularly, and by watering them regularly, I mean water when they have dried, okay? Don't subject them to perpetual drought like some of you have been taught. Just because a plant is drought tolerant doesn't mean it wants to be constantly subjected to drought-like conditions, okay? So if you want like fast growth in any one of these Sansevieras, you do have to water regularly. Look at the frigging material. I'm gonna have to report her very soon. Maybe I'll do that in one of our pot and gist videos. But yeah, let me drop her down so we can proceed with the next one. Now, this next one has to handle her with care, because she's the type of Sanseivera that can poke your eye. In fact, she has pricked me on multiple occasions while filming. Be careful. Babes. Look at this little freak of nature. This is a Sanseivera. Look at her. I have to be careful. This is a Sanseivera canary. And please do not be deceived when you buy these guys small, thinking they're going to remain small and cute. Honey, that's not the case. So they're actually slow at first. One thing I realized with some of these Sansevieras is that they can be a bit slow at first, but after a while they pick up and they just grow very aggressively. And this is the case with this one. I bought her thinking she was going to remain small and cute, and she did for a while, but then she just had this massive growth spot, and she has just been growing rather aggressively. At one point, I actually kept her contained in a small pot for a very long period of time in hopes that that would deter her from growing, and that actually did. But you know, late last year, I decided, okay, let me give this babe a bigger pot. I'm low-key hoping I do not regret this, because these thorns, especially if you place them in the wrong way, these spikes or spines or whatever you want to call them, if you place them in the wrong position or in a passageway where people pass regularly, then it could actually cause some injury. I actually have two of these. I have one. So this is called the Sansevieria canary because the new leaves have this bright hue. Sometimes it can be a very bright yellow, especially when the plant is young. But I also have a variant or a cultivar that is just entirely green, and I kept that one somewhere in my living room where no one will come close to it so that they don't get injured. So this one, honestly, it's currently outdoors, but I'm worried that my neighbor's kid one of these days might come close to it. So I think I'm gonna have to move this somewhere indoors. Not only will that slow down the growth so it doesn't grow crazy, but it will also prevent people from yeah, I will advise that you get this, but please be warned that it doesn't stay small and cute. It can grow to be something that could potentially be a safety hazard. Okay, let me just drop this. Okay, so this next one is too big. I cannot carry it. I don't want to break my back. So it's currently outdoors. So let's go check it out outside. Come, girl. Come. I'm waiting for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this gorgeous, beautiful work of art here. Oh my goodness gracious. So I used to think this was a Sanseivera jaguar, but turns out it's not. I finally know the name of this Sanseivera. It's Sanseivera Urgh. I'm going to insert the name. The Sanseivera jaguar is actually a really fast-growing Sanseivera, so that can also be included in this list. That one grows so fast and very aggressively. It looks similar to this, but in my opinion, this is more beautiful. This is prettier. This will grow just as fast while being beautiful, statuesque, and being completely iconic. I actually have two of this. I have one that is growing outdoors here, and I have another one in my living room in a corner that is quite dark. And to my surprise, the one I have in my living room is actually growing a lot faster than this one. So this is definitely a Sanseivera that will actually grow fast even in these low light conditions. I just spotted that this one is about to produce a pop. You can see that I'm not even growing her in the best of soils. And that's the thing, Sansevieras actually, in my opinion, in my very humble opinion, they actually prefer actual dirt, actual soil from the ground. They prefer this sort of soil, definitely not your chunky potting mix. But yeah, I love this one. Beautiful. Look at the leaves. Look at the leaves. They look like a beautiful work of art. Definitely one that you should add to your collection if you want something that will grow fast while just being beautiful, structural, architectural, and unique. We're back inside, and please, if you heard any noise outdoors, it is these Nigerian children. Today is some form of school holiday in this country, so all these children are at home and they're making so much noise. But anyway, the next category of snake plants I want to introduce is the ones that actually, they don't really grow really big, but they produce a lot of pops. So they stay small and compact or short, but they just produce pops aggressively. They're like aggressive poppers, So brace yourself, because the next one I'm going to show you is a complete freak of nature. It completely contradicts everything you have learned about plants, and it's just going to blow your mind. Are you ready? It is this. And I'm sure at this point you're wondering, what exactly is this? Is this a snake plant? Doesn't this look like a calathea? Honey, it is a snake plant and a calathea. This is the snake plant there. This is the snake plant, and then we have a calathea that just one day grew as a weed. I just saw it pop out as one leaf, and then before you know it, it's taken over. Who would have thought in a million years that a calathea and a snake plant will be growing in the same pot and subjected to the same growing conditions? Oh my goodness gracious. So if you don't have any luck keeping calatheas alive, get this one. It's just as hardy as a snake plant. But back to the snake plant in question. This is a Sanseivera honey. Look at her. She's so beautiful. Look, and this is actually my very first snake plant and one of my oldest plants. I had this plant, I got it as a small pop. It was extremely cheap, probably the cheapest plant I've ever had in my collection. And it's a very common and very basic plant in this part of the world. But it made me fall in love with snake plants because I was a beginner then and I just used to make so many mistakes. And it took all my mistakes in stride while also being really fast growing. So this is an aggressive popper. I think they're close to 10 single pops, all growing in this compact bush. in this pot while also competing with a Sanseivera. Now I have separated this on several locations. I gifted it out, but at this point I'm just gonna keep you contained in this pot. But if you have something like a hedge with infinite space, these guys will quickly take over it and grow in a matter of literally in a year. They're going to completely fill up the entire hedge. Now, the disadvantage, however, with these ones that are prolific poppers is that pests can sometimes hide inside here and, you know, lay their eggs. In fact, not to gross you out, but I actually saw eggs. Jesus! Eggs inside here. Eggs. I don't know what eggs they are. I don't know whether they are snake eggs. I hope to God that they are not, or maybe they are like snail eggs. I don't know, but I actually saw two shiny little eggs inside here. So you do have to be on the lookout for these prolific poppers. They can harbor pests. Creatures can be living inside those nook and crannies, carefully hidden. So yes, that's just the only disadvantage about them. So aside from that, if you get this Sansevieria, then just be prepared to have so many pops that you're gonna give out to friends or to family. Yeah, let me drop this. This is heavy. You guys had better like this video and subscribe. What I go through, literally busting my back to give you guys premium content for free. Like and subscribe if you've not. Right, before I like and subscribe. Thankfully, this is one I can carry without breaking my back. This is a Sansevieria Star Rose. This is actually my favorite Sansevieria. This is not my second favorite after the copper tone Urgh, but this is, I love this one. This is a prolific popper. In fact, the only reason why she isn't full to the brim with pops is because I just recently had a massive sale in November of last year, and I took so many pops from her, as well as a lot of these other Sanseiverias I will show you. And you know, but this year I told myself I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to allow these guys just have multiple pops. I will upgrade this one's pot and give her one of those big round pots so she can just produce as many pops as possible. Now, this one is not very common in my part of the world, but I always tell my customers that buy this that all you need is just one. Once you have one, you have, trust me, you already have 20. Just keep it regularly watered. I've noticed this one loves to stay moist. I pretty much always keep her moist. Bear in mind, I'm growing her outdoors. Okay, take that advice with a grain of salt. But I pretty much always keep her moist, and she's just always popping. She is popping like crazy. I recently separated this in November, and it has already given me a pop. So in another couple or maybe another month or two, sis is gonna give me even more pops. So Sansevieria Star Rose. Not only are you getting a Sansevieria that is not very common, but you're also getting one that, you know, is a prolific popper. You can potentially gift this to friends and family. Okay. Now, I know Sanseiverias have been reclassified into Draceanas, and I've struggled to accept that, but there's this particular Sansevieria that I have that looks so much like a Draceana. It's just as prolific of a popper, but it looks like a Draceana. Like, let me just show you so you guys will see for yourself. Babes, does this not look like a Draceana? This looks like a Draceana, like Jenna Craig or something. Now I see why these guys were rightfully, we have to give it to that scientist or whoever did the reclassification. They were right. These guys actually look a lot like Draceanas. Now this one, I have a hard time coming up with or figuring out the name for this one. It looks like a black dragon, but it doesn't grow as big as a black dragon. It just stays small and compact. Look at her. Doesn't this look like a beautiful emerald bouquet? Yes, so this is another one that is a prolific popper. As you can see, the entire pot is covered with pops. And when I got this one about 2 years ago or a year ago. It was just one single plant, but she has blessed me with so many pops that I've also separated and sold. So this is an aggressive popper, but like I said, with these aggressive poppers, please always check the nooks and crannies, because I actually saw a big fat snail in this one. Now, most Sanseiverias, they're not prone to pests, But snails, especially if you're growing them outdoors, snails really love them and they love to lay their eggs. I think that egg I saw was a snail. They love to hide because it provides perfect protection against like prey. So they love to just hide in their nooks and crannies, especially of these more compact ones, and then lay their eggs and do so much damage. Let me show you a typical example of what snail damage is. This is snail damage. Now imagine this all over your Sanseivera in severe cases when there's an infestation. I have one, I'm going to show you that after this, that the snails just love. They're obsessed with, and also caterpillars as well. Some species of butterflies in this part of the world, they will actually specifically lay their eggs in these snake plants, especially the more compact ones like these. And then when it hatches, now has a source of food. So it's going to be feeding on your snake plants. I have had a snake plant almost completely decimated because of such butterfly or moth or whatever that evil creature was. But yeah, okay, let me show you the next one that is also a prolific popper. This one is relatively common, especially in the West. In Nigeria, it wasn't so common before, but now it is. And I'm going to share an interesting story as to why it's really common, but that's testament to it being an extremely aggressive popper. I've yapped enough. Let me show you. It's a Sanseivera moonshine. And oh my God, my poor baby. All of this you see, can you see? This is snail damage. See, this is what these evil snails do when you don't check for eggs or you don't pluck them out, you know, in Sansevieras that, like I said, that grow this compact. So yeah, the snails have gotten to this one. But honestly, I'm not even bothered because this is a prolific popper. She's already, look at, in like a matter of maybe 3 months, she's gonna just fill this entire pot with fresh pops, and I may just get rid of the older leaves. This is one Sanseivera that all you need is one. All you just need is just one of these pops and you're frigging good to go. Just give it enough space and it will just replicate, just produce. Now, there was a time in Nigeria that these guys were very scarce, like very rare. About 4 years ago, I remember watching them on YouTube and I was thinking, oh my God, when will I get this? When will this be available in the Nigerian market? Well, there was one grower. He loves to collect succulents and snake plants, and he brought them into the country, and he just had about 5, and then he sold one to me and sold one to a friend, and that was pretty much all it took. And now they're all over the market just because they produce aggressive pops, and then by the time you gift out and you sell, those ones will also produce pops. Now they're everywhere. So this is, like I said, all you need is just one. All you need is just one of these guys and you're good to go. But please, especially if you're growing them outdoors, always check for pests on these guys. Snails, caterpillars. Be on the lookout, unless this is gonna happen to your poor snake plant. But don't worry, it's gonna make an eventual recovery in a couple. Oh! I literally just saw a snail. You see? You see? Oh, I hope you guys can see. Can you see it? It's, oh! Can you see? So yeah, it's not just the big snails, but also these small. Let me bring it out. Is this, I don't even know where, babes, I can't find it. I've probably knocked it back into the soil. Okay, wait, hang on. Yeah, I found it. Oh, so yeah, you do have to be on the lookout for that in these particular Sansevieras that grow this way. The last one I'm going to show you is actually my personal favorite. I wish I was showing you guys or making this video before I actually separated lots of my Sansevieras, because this one was really full. I remember this was one that was also extremely rare in my country, maybe like 3 years ago. But like I said, once you have just one of these, the whole country has it because it's a prolific popper. Oh, is this one here? This is a Sanseivera with me. Oh, I love you. You can see that irritating snail damage. Oh, but anyways, she's beautiful. I just recently separated this about 3 months ago because of like every year I have a major plant sale and I just, you know, harvest the pops of these guys. But as you can see, look at the fresh set of pops. Look at the fresh set of pops just everywhere. This is a prolific popper. So not only are you going to have a beautiful plant, but you're also going to have one that will just produce pops for you that you can share with your friends. Like I said, all you need is just one pop and you're pretty much good to go. And this is also this one can actually get a bit tall. It can get a bit tall as well. So not only are you going to get something that will not just grow a bit like towards the size of my length of where my hand is, but you're also going to have something that will give you like a full pot of pops. I'm going to make an updated video on this maybe later in the year, just to show you guys how my snake plants have all become really big. So you also see for yourself that these are not just unique and uncommon snake plants, but they actually grow really aggressively. Whew. So darlings, we have come to the end of this video. Honestly, who needs a gym membership when you have plants? All you have to do is just be a plant content creator, and trust me, you're gonna have strong arms from lifting all these heavy plants and heavy pots. Anyways, I hope you liked this video. If you did, like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the comments.